Hello and welcome to my Inktober video. And I feel like I fucked up a little bit because I should have recorded this ahead of time and not try to record them and edit them on the daily and try to put them out in a timely manner. But anyway, today I present to you my Inktober process days 1 through 4. I follow a different prompt list which I will put on the screen if you're curious. The first day was Transcended, and I've decided to make it a little alien lady with a lot of floating hair. And that was my only idea about it. A lot of floating hair. And to mention any art supplies that I'm using, it's a little pot of India ink that you might have seen in the previous video, and a thin brush because I want to focus on doing line art with brush because that is hard. So I was struggling a little bit with the pose because I wanted her to be very kind of like straight and regal and floating, but at first I thought that would be a little too boring, so I was trying to make it a little bit more of a curve, but then I essentially decided not to do that. Then I did the line work, and let me tell you, it was a lot of fun making all of this floaty hair and doing all this pretty stuff. I enjoyed it a lot. However, I decided that it would be fun to mask it off with a masking tape, and I did not check that masking tape on that paper because that paper is kind of porous and fibrous, I guess. But I did not test it prior to this, and I ended up ripping up the whole picture. And I was very mad. I was recording without the sound, but I was straight up screaming. I was yelling my little heart out because I was so upset. But then I just decided to keep it as is because I am not trying to stress out about Inktober too much. Day 2. Day 2's prompt word was desolated. And I didn't have any idea about it again. I did not think about it ahead of time, so I just let my hand do whatever. And I came up with this little demon lady, which is not a regional concept whatsoever, but I did this demon lady again with very flowing hair because I think it's very fun to line hair with the brush. That just kind of sitting there with the closed up pose, kind of a little sad, I guess, with the moon in the background. So I just did just that. And this one went a lot better than the previous one, and I liked the idea, and I really like the hair. I really like the artwork when the hair is really long and it just flows down and kind of like coils up on the ground or kind of hangs over the shoulder. I think it looks so nice, and the little string, like when hair is a little stringy, sorta. I really like that. So that one was very, very self-indulgent piece, I guess. I enjoyed it a lot, and I think it shows because it kind of, I don't know, it just looks better. I feel like, I think it looks better because I like it so much. But I mean, it's not groundbreaking. It's just nice little inky doodle. Then I used the metallic silver gel pen to put in the moon, and it kind of killed my wrist a little bit. So yeah, that's your reminder. If you draw, please do your stretches because you don't want to end up with sore wrists. And please draw from your shoulder and not from your wrist because that hurts. So then I was kind of thinking about adding a dark background at the back, and I thought about making it kind of like a triangular, but then I didn't like how it looked and I thought it needed more darkness, so I just filled the whole thing in. It was kind of a pain to try and color around the hair because you can't just go over because you can lose all the detail and all the definition. So I had to go in between each strand and leave a little white border around them because I don't have a white gel pen or anything, and I didn't want to fuss with the white acrylic paint. But at the end it turned out okay, it turned out fine, and that's might be my favorite piece of the Inktober so far. And then I decided to add a little bit more of silver detail, a little bit of the stars, little shooting stars, and it's done. Day 3. Day 3 prompt was baked goods. And I was thinking about just doing a little nice picture of some baked treats, but then I thought, nah, everything so far is kind of like a little creepy, a little dark, so I gotta go creepy, and it's Halloween after all. So I decided to go a little creepy, and I did a little eyeball cupcake and teeth cupcake, please don't. And then I added a lot of spiders, and it gave me heebie-jeebies even just looking at them. So yeah, it's just some weird people cakes. And I actually had a lot of fun inking them because I ended up putting in a lot of ridges, like in the cupcake liner and in the icing itself, like, you know, when you use a kind of like star-shaped piping tip. So I decided to go with that, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of texture. I thought it was cool, and I had a lot of fun inking that. The funny thing is that last Inktober, I think there was a food-related prompt too. I think it was Taco Tuesday, and I ended up doing spider tacos because the artists whose prompts I am following is Eat More Spiders. So whenever there is any kind of food prompt, I try to include spiders in there. So yeah. So yeah, I had a fun time figuring out like what would be my darks and what would be my highlights, and yeah, I don't think the shading is that accurate because I just tried to create a little bit of contrast, but I don't think I ended up making like realistic shading for that matter. And then I decided to add a little sign, so it's like a bake sale, I guess. Oh, and I added sprinkles. The next one was non-horse centaur, and I was struggling with that one. At first I wanted to go with a llama, but then I thought that would look too close to a horse, so I decided to go with something fuzzy and not having hoofs. So I was thinking a bear, but then it would just look kind of funny because the human body would kind of be really small. But then I decided to go with a fox. And then I figured because it's a fox, then I could also make a lady with really long flowing hair, because that's apparently what my whole Inktober is about, ladies with really long flowing hair. So I made a little multi-tailed fox body and pretty little lady on top. I didn't go with any facial detail because I didn't think it really mattered for this doodle, and I just kept it pretty simple. And I thought it would be fun to try and ink fur, because I do think inking hair is fun, but when it's that much hair, it's a completely different thing. So I decided to give it a shot at inking their furry body, and it was fun. I liked it. I don't necessarily ink a lot of things. I mean, I do kinda, I just like outline it in pen, but I don't necessarily put a lot of thought into it. So I think that Inktober can give me a lot of benefit of learning things that I don't necessarily put a lot of thought into. So and then I started filling in with some ink wash, and originally I didn't want to use ink wash in any of them. I thought I would focus on clean lines, just black and white, but then just like, no, it just looks too clean, too simple, and I need something. And I really like ink washes, so I decided to go in with a lot of ink wash. And I zoomed in too far and did not film the fuzzy tails, which is a shame. So yeah, and then I put in a little simplest background ever, a little circle with a black glitter pen, and yeah, and then I was done. So yeah, stay tuned in for the next hastily edited Inktober video. And yeah, subscribe if you liked it, and I'm gonna see you next time. Bye!